You are listening and watching to a very special podcast. Here we continue more on where we left off, in Benjamin Hallows' point of view. Enjoy. There, at this gathering, once again, he managed to get himself drunk again. But he sobered up pretty quickly when Joseph Dirge and his gang crashed the party. They were holding guns right at Yoichi, demanding to have the boy, but Rory Lee stepped in and took them all down after a sound of a bottle break. What happens next would be ensured of everyone's safety. Everyone was trying to get back. Some were ducking down. All of a sudden, Ben was trying his best to shield himself as well as Taylor. But then they both noticed a girl was standing there without her mask on. It was right over her head, and she was covering her bruise where she looked like she had been bitten. Ben began to remember. He soon spotted someone was leaning in, and it looked like a perfect intimate moment. He realized the girl was Sylver Eden in that dress, and she was freaking out to see all of this chaos. Ben managed to get ahead, like he was trying to leave, but honestly, he quietly closed the door behind. Sylver didn't know that somebody crept in there, but she did hear the door close and decided maybe someone was hiding just like she was. She opened the door and she managed to try to close it a little, but she managed to peek out to see all the chaos. Sylver was terrified. She couldn't believe this was happening. She was freaking out, terrified. She was incoherent in her thoughts, wondering what she should do. It wasn't until Ben came from behind, placed his hands on her shoulders, and he whispered in her ear, saying, "Hello there, darling." Sylver gasped. Before she could react, Ben managed to knock her out by covering her mouth with some sort of chloroform. She was passed out, but Ben managed to help her to this little sofa there. She was lying there consciously. Ben looked over at Sylver, and then all of a sudden he brushed his fingers against her cheek. Her skin was surprisingly soft, and she looked very innocent. Just looking at the body of this girl made him think of Dawn. Once again, another flashback came into mind. Young Ben was looking for his sister. "Dawn, are you here?" he called. No answer. He tried calling again. "Dawn, don't tell me you're taking a nap again. Honestly, you and your silly naps." However, he began to grow increasingly worried. But when he looked over at the sofa, he was startled to see that she was indeed sleeping, but he couldn't help but notice she looked radiant in the light. He then brushed his fingers against her cheek. How soft and smooth her skin felt. Dawn began to stir. "Oh my goodness, Ben, what are you doing?" "I'm sorry. Mother's wondering if you're ready." "Oh, yes, of course I am. I'm terribly sorry. I suddenly fell asleep." "It's all right. You look very pretty while sleeping." "I do, don't I?" "Oh, Ben, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm always taking naps all of the time. Isn't it strange? No, sister, I don't think it's strange. You're never strange to me. Come, Mother's waiting. Time's a-wasting. I'm coming, Dawn said. In the present, Ben was busy trying to conceal the wound. Taylor examined it. No doubt about it. It's definitely a love bite. Gee, is that rather obvious? I know, but who do you think that was that did this to her? Oh, I don't know. I believe Ophelia might have the answer. Damn it. It looks really bruised, really dark around the edges. I'm surprised nobody even noticed. He managed to heal the wound. Sylver did not once stirred. However, when Ben tried to conceal it, the cold compress against her woke her up. At an instant, Sylver began to panic upon seeing Ben. Oh God, it's you. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You're here. You're Benjamin Hallows. Ben let out a sardonic smile as he said, the one and only. Sylver began to panic. She did not want to be harmed, but Ben said, Don't be scared. I'm not going to hurt you. No, please. Sylver begged, I just want to help you. No. He put his hand over her mouth and shushed her. Shh, I'm not going to hurt you. I was just here to help you with the wound. So he talked to her for a bit. Sylver felt a little embarrassed, but, well, she looked a bit flustered. Ben had to smile in amusement, and he tempted her to come with. When Sylver heard this, she couldn't believe it, but they were interrupted by Hyaguya. He came in wielding his weapon and crying out, Get off her, you son of a bitch! Ben reacted, Yeah, God! But Ben managed to dodge it in time. That's when Lieutenant Colonel came in, as well as Barrere, demanding to know what the heck was going on, but chaos soon ensued. Barrere managed to be the one to leave, and you came right beside her to join her. Sylver also went out. However, Ben was a bit curious, so he, and of course Taylor, as well as Raven, followed. Ben managed to see that Barrere began to absorb the powers of Yuichiro Hyaguya and Eren Yeager. Once she got their powers inside of her, she suddenly uses them in combination and took down the creatures known as the Horsemen of John. Ben was astounded by this, and then he began to notice that Yu had horns on his head, and he had some sort of a demonic presence, or better yet, he had wings growing from his back, like an angel, but they were black. Suddenly, Barrere stopped the whole Seraph Titan form that she combined with Eren and also Yu's powers. Yu transformed back to normal and Barrere returned, but she began to sigh and said, That was the most amazing experience of my entire life. She moaned, It was so beautiful. But then Ben was standing there noticing all this. He couldn't help himself but ask, How did you do that, young man? To Yuichiro. Yuichiro backed away. He pointed over to Gurren, trying to make up an excuse to save himself by saying, He taught me. Gurren looked at him. What? But then he noticed Ben. Ben looked at him with curiosity. Earlier, he had rebuked Gurren for being nothing more than a nuisance. However, Ben changed his point of view and wanted, of course, Yuichiro to join in his little experiment. But Gurren and the rest of the Shinoa squad talked it over, and they refused Ben to give over to Yuichiro Hyakuya. However, Ben claimed that he's nothing like you. However, Shinoa said, "Of course he is. He's definitely one of us. He's, The others were trying to say, but luckily Mika came to the rescue and claimed, "He's family." This made Ben surprised. "Family?" he asked. The others nodded. Ben became thoughtful about this, and another memory emerged. He remembered when he was a little boy that he, Charlie, and Isaiah were arguing over the game to play house. They were causing quite a stir that Calypso came in. "Children! Children! What in the world is going on here?" she demanded. Isaiah was in tears. He was wiping his eyes away. "Mother, they won't let me play father. They say I'm too little," Isaiah claimed. Calypso looked over. "Boys, how many times do I have to tell you about taking turns? You have to let your little brother have a chance." But Ben claimed, "But mother, father is tall. He's around your height quite a bit, but by only 1 inch. However, Calypso was amused. "Yes, well, of course. But you have to remember something.